What if I told you there could be humans who live in a permanent dream state while awake, see visions that predict the future, create art that channels divine inspiration, but can barely function in normal reality? They'd be living bridges between the conscious and unconscious worlds, and honestly, they might be the most creatively gifted and practically helpless beings imaginable. We've explored delta wave consciousness, the deepest state possible. Now we're moving up to theta waves, and this might be the most fascinating consciousness we've encountered yet. Humans locked into 4 to 7 Hz theta frequency would be living in the realm of dreams, visions, and pure creativity. But at what cost? Theta waves operate at 4 to 7 Hz, the frequency of deep creativity, vivid dreams, and spiritual visions. In normal humans, theta dominates during REM sleep and vivid dreaming, deep meditation and trance states, creative flow and artistic inspiration, memory consolidation and processing, spiritual experiences and visions, early childhood consciousness. But our theta-only humans would be permanently locked in this state in both brain hemispheres. No faster waves for logical thinking, no slower waves for deep rest. Just constant dreaming consciousness while awake, living in the space where imagination and reality blur together. These humans would exist in a permanent waking dream state. Reality and fantasy would be completely intermingled in their consciousness. They'd see things that aren't there, not hallucinations in a pathological sense, but genuine visions, symbolic imagery, archetypal figures that would feel more real to them than physical objects. Memory and imagination would be indistinguishable. Past, present, future, and pure fantasy would flow together in one continuous narrative stream. They might remember conversations with deceased relatives as vividly as yesterday's lunch. Their entire experience would be like living inside the most vivid, meaningful dream you've ever had. Full of symbols, metaphors, and profound significance that makes perfect sense in the moment but defies logical explanation. Here's where theta consciousness gets absolutely fascinating. These humans would have incredible prophetic and creative abilities. Theta waves access the unconscious where the mind processes vast amounts of information below conscious awareness. They might know things they have no logical reason to know, predicting events, understanding people's hidden motivations, sensing patterns others miss. Their creativity would be otherworldly, channeling pure inspiration from unconscious depths. Every piece of art, music, or writing would feel divinely inspired, because it would literally be coming from consciousness levels most people only access in dreams. They'd be natural shamans and visionaries, the kind of people ancient cultures relied on for spiritual guidance and prophetic insight. Communication with theta-only humans would be unlike anything we've experienced. They wouldn't speak in literal language. Everything would be metaphorical, symbolic, poetic. A simple question about the weather might get a response about the sky weeping for lost dreams. Their conversations would sound like mythology, fairy tales, or prophetic visions. They'd speak in archetypal images, talking about the Great Mother, the shadow, the hero's journey, as if these were actual people they knew personally. Understanding them would require interpreting their symbolic language, like analyzing dreams or poetry. What sounds like nonsense might contain profound truths about the human condition. Theta consciousness operates outside normal time perception, so these humans would have a completely alien relationship to causality. Past and future would intermingle freely. They might grieve for losses that haven't happened yet, or celebrate victories from previous lifetimes they believe they lived. Cause and effect would be replaced by synchronicity and meaningful coincidence. Everything would be connected through symbolic rather than logical relationships. They'd be natural storytellers because their entire existence would be one continuous, meaningful narrative, where every event has deep significance and connects to larger archetypal patterns. While their inner lives would be incredibly rich, these theta-only humans would be almost completely helpless in practical matters. Basic tasks like cooking, cleaning, or managing money would be nearly impossible. They'd be too absorbed in their inner visions to maintain focus on mundane activities. They'd forget to eat while lost in creative rapture or prophetic visions. Time management would be meaningless. They might spend 8 hours painting one brushstroke because it revealed cosmic truths to them. They'd need constant care from others to handle basic survival needs, like beautiful, gifted children who never learn to take care of themselves. Watching them navigate normal social situations would be both enchanting and heartbreaking. In a grocery store, they might spend an hour contemplating the symbolic meaning of different fruits, seeing each apple as representing temptation, knowledge, or the cycles of nature. In conversation, they'd respond to what they perceived as your soul's deeper message, rather than your actual words. Ask about the weather. Get a discourse on humanity's relationship with the divine. They'd be completely genuine but utterly unable to engage with surface-level social reality. Every interaction would be profound and exhausting. Being around Theta-only humans would be transformative but challenging. Creative people would feel incredibly inspired by their presence. They'd trigger artistic breakthroughs and spiritual insights in others. But practical people would be frustrated and disturbed by their complete inability to engage with logical reality. Children would be drawn to them naturally because children still have strong Theta activity. Animals would be unusually calm and attracted to them. Their presence would make others more creative, intuitive, and spiritually aware, but also less grounded and practical. Throughout history, many of our greatest visionaries might have been operating primarily in Theta consciousness. Ancient oracles and prophets who spoke in riddles and symbolic language, accessing truths through non-rational means. Revolutionary artists whose work seemed to channel something beyond normal human creativity. Blake, Van Gogh, Tesla during his visionary periods. Spiritual teachers who spoke in parables and metaphors, accessing wisdom that transcended logical understanding. These Theta-only humans would represent this visionary capacity, taken to its absolute extreme, pure, creative, and prophetic consciousness, untempered by practical awareness. This connects powerfully to Julian Jaynes's bicameralism theory. He suggested that ancient human consciousness was less self-aware and more directly connected to unconscious processes. Theta-dominant consciousness might represent what human awareness was like when we were more open to visions, prophecy, and direct spiritual communication. Ancient cultures valued and protected their visionaries, shamans, and oracle priests, who might have been operating primarily in Theta states. Modern society has little place for people who can't function practically, no matter how spiritually gifted they might be. This raises profound questions about what we value in human consciousness. Is their inability to function practically a tragic disability? Or are we the disabled ones, cut off from the visionary realm that gives life meaning? Their rich inner lives might be more fulfilling than our practical but spiritually impoverished existence. They'd experience every day as an adventure full of meaning, symbol, and divine communication, while we struggle with mundane concerns and existential emptiness. These Theta-only humans would force us to confront fundamental questions about consciousness and value. What's more important? The ability to pay bills and hold jobs? Or the ability to access prophetic visions and create divinely inspired art? They'd be living reminders of capacities we've largely lost. Direct access to unconscious wisdom, symbolic thinking, visionary perception. In protecting and caring for them, we might reconnect with aspects of consciousness our rational, practical culture has abandoned. They'd be bridges between the visible and invisible worlds, maintaining connection to realms of experience most of us only glimpse in dreams or rare mystical moments. Perhaps the most beautiful and tragic thing about Theta-only humans is that they'd be closest to the source of all creativity and meaning, while being least able to survive in the world that needs their gifts. They'd channel pure inspiration, but be unable to market it. They'd see profound truths, but be unable to communicate them practically. They'd access divine wisdom, but forget to eat dinner. We'd need to protect them to preserve access to the visionary realm they inhabit. But in protecting them, we might remember what we've lost in our rush toward pure rationality and practical efficiency. This exploration takes us deep into the relationship between consciousness and creativity. Have you ever experienced Theta-like states in dreams, meditation, or creative flow? What was that like? And here's a thought-provoking question. If you had to choose between practical competence and visionary consciousness, which would you pick? Let me know in the comments. If these journeys into different states of consciousness fascinate you, subscribe and share with others interested in the mysteries of human awareness. We're exploring territories most people never consider. And maybe pay attention to your own Theta moments, those times when you're deeply creative, intuitive, or visionary. You might be glimpsing what our hypothetical humans experience as their entire reality. See you in the next exploration of consciousness.